brief comments, and it's certainly something that is going to weigh very heavily on the way forward for him and his incoming cabinet.
The Prime Minister spoke to the crowd some hours ago now, Eamon. The demonstration still going strong. At least it sounds as though it is from what we can hear behind you there. I mean, what is it that people are protesting about?
Well, you know, it would be an understatement to say that the people of Egypt feel that Tahrir Square has become a rallying cry, not only for their own personal struggles, but that of the entire Arab world. You know, if you could see behind me, just off to my shoulder, there are Libyan flags that are waving, there are Yemeni flags that are waving. We've seen even flags from Oman and Bahrain. They have really taken it upon themselves not only to make their protests heard, but they really feel that they were at the cusp of momentum that is spreading across the Arab world. But when you look at their specific list of demands, as far as it relates to Egypt, their demands are very clear. Now that the Prime Minister has been changed and a new one has been brought in, they want to see the end of the emergency law. They want to see the apparatus, the state security apparatus, completely dismantled because it's very notorious here in Egypt. And they want to see former regime officials brought to justice. Now, it's not expected that these protests are going to continue in the same fervor for the next several weeks, but certainly this week was in one way a celebration of them achieving yet another demand with the resignation of the former Prime Minister.
Right, Eamon, many thanks indeed. Eamon Mukhyildeen live there in Cairo. Let's move to Tunisia now, a country that's still struggling to restore stability since mass protests there toppled President Zine El Abidine Ben Ali in January. In his first address to the nation, the new interim Prime Minister announced that he'll be forming a government in the next 2 days.
At this time, we're facing difficult responsibilities. As I said before, and a lot of colleagues here present know that in this government, which I'll be honored to head, all those who would like to leave, please feel free to do so. But all those who would like to stay and work, the door is open, and we will help each other and facilitate it. And we'll call on our people to help us and give us, at this short period of time, the benefit of the doubt. And then, after that, they will have the right to judge our behavior.
Well, let's get a view now from our correspondent in Tunis, Nazanin Moshiri.
Well, what the interim Prime Minister Bedj Kaid Sebzi tried to do was to reassure the Tunisian people that the country is heading in the right direction. He spoke of the past. He said that Ben Ali, the former president, should be hanged for leaving the country as head of the army and being a traitor. He also spoke of decades of darkness and now calling for the first transparent election in years. Whether he will do enough to reassure people and create the jobs his country needs and bring in the billions of dollars his country requires to rebuild and to move forward, well, we'll have to wait and see.
Just ahead here on Al Jazeera, we'll tell you about mourners gathering for the funeral of Pakistan's former minorities minister who was gunned down after speaking out against the country's blasphemy law.
3, 2, 1.
And mission failure, we'll see how that was as good as it got for NASA's latest rocket launch.
Welcome back. First, across India, we're looking at some very warm temperatures. They're going to be in the mid-30s for most of the weekend from Saturday as well as into Sunday. As you can see, Nagpur at 35s. Kolkata, it'll be seeing about 35 degrees as well, but you're going to be seeing some clouds in your forecast. Down to the south, we are going to be picking up some rain for Sri Lanka. Now, they had a nice break from the flooding that they had seen. We need to watch this very carefully. More rain is in the forecast. We do have some lands that are still flooded, so this could actually aggravate the situation that is going on in the region. I now want to take you down towards parts of South Africa. We're looking at some very heavy rain showers across Namibia as well as into Angola. Those showers could lead to some flooding as well, but we have also seen flooding over the last several weeks for the northern part of Mozambique, especially in the river valleys. We had seen over 20,000 people displaced because of the very heavy showers in the region. Madagascar is still going to be seeing some extremely heavy rain over the next couple of days, but not too bad down towards South Africa. Cape Town at 26 degrees, partly cloudy. The showers will be just to the east, and Johannesburg will be sunny, about 27 degrees for you. Well, up towards towards the Arabian Peninsula, we are looking at some cooler conditions. Here in Doha, temperatures are only going to get to about 24 degrees on Saturday. Abu Dhabi at 23, but we could possibly see some showers for the southwestern part of Saudi Arabia as we head into Sunday.
Based on the third largest gas reserves in the world, Qatar, through Qatar Petroleum and its partners, aims to become the world's largest exporter of liquefied natural gas and the world capital of the gas-to-liquids industry. In a later phase, Qatar intends to become the world's largest natural gas exporter. Qatar Petroleum.
Hello again, this is Al Jazeera. A reminder of our top stories this hour. In Libya, opposition fighters are taking on Muammar Gaddafi's security forces across the country. There are reports of unrest in AlJazeera and Tripoli. Protesters also gathered in Benghazi after Friday prayers demanding the end of Colonel Gaddafi's rule. It comes after a series of airstrikes by pro-Gaddafi forces on eastern towns over the past week. Friday prayers across the Arab world have again been followed by more protests calling for change. In Egypt, the country's new prime minister spoke to a crowd in Cairo alongside a senior member of the Muslim Brotherhood. He promised to work hard to realize protesters' demands. Protesters have made themselves heard in Yemen today too, where President Ali Abdullah Saleh has rejected the opposition's proposal for a transfer of power. In the capital, Sana'a, demonstrators continued to call for his immediate resignation. Meanwhile, in the north, it's reported that at least 2 people were killed after the military fired rockets on protesters in Amran province. Let's go live now to Sana'a and Al Jazeera's Hashim Al-Halbara, who's standing by there. Hashim, once again, it was University Square that was the focal point for the demonstrators.
It is, and when I first arrived to Yemen about 3 weeks ago, people were saying that since the uprising coincides with what was happening in Libya, they had a feeling that if the regime is toppled in Libya, that would have a knock-on effect on the government in Yemen, forcing Ali Abdullah Saleh to go. However, they seem to be now saying that this could be a very protracted standoff, with Ali Abdullah Saleh holding out, rejecting calls for him to step aside by 2013. It is quite obvious that there is a surge in the anti-government momentum, more crowds clustering across the country, people demanding Ali Abdullah Saleh to go, but they are a bit concerned that this could be a prolonged conflict, and the concern is that, historically speaking, when there were prolonged conflicts in Yemen, they were basically prelude to more armed and bloodshed in the country.
Hashim, speaking of bloodshed, what do we know about this incident, this reported incident in the north of the country where at least 2 people